Well, good morning and welcome to this morning's reflection, and I'm glad that we are here together again this morning. So make yourself comfortable, and if you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, enjoy it while we spend this time together. People often say to me that learning to pray is a very difficult part of the Christian walk. However difficult prayer might be, prayer is indeed integral. It's just has to be part of our journey with God. But when you think about it, what is prayer? It is not anything particularly difficult or particularly special or particularly outstandingly holy or sacred. Prayer is really quite simple. It's simply sharing ourselves with the Lord. It's like speaking to your close friend. And we come to this sharing just as we are. We come angry, we come sad, we come disillusioned, we come joyful, we come bored. We come to this time honestly and authentically just as we are. And we come for the purpose of sharing our struggles, and we all have them. Sharing our stresses, and we all have them. We come to share our joys, and that's important. To share our deep sorrow. And to bring before God what we hope for. And to lay before Him what we fear. When we do this, it's not as if we're giving God new information about our lives, because He already knows these things. But what we're doing is we're sharing ourselves with God so that we can have a deeper sense of rooting in Him. We can have a deeper sense of intimacy with Him. And we know that God delights in this sharing, that He wants and desires us to open our hearts and our minds to Him. Because He says, love me with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And that means to make those things open to Him. And perhaps you could take this bit of advice. Don't only think your prayers. Don't only pray in your head. But use words. Verbalize your sharings with God. Of course, He can receive your thoughts, but somehow when you speak out the words, they become real, especially confession. They become very real. And of course, we don't need to do all the talking here. This is a sharing. And so there must be moments when you are still and you open your heart and your mind and your soul and your ears to what God has to say. So prayer is the simple sharing of two people who have a deep love for each other. It's a place of deep intimacy and deep vulnerability. So perhaps you could try this practice. It's called the empty chair practice. So you go into a space where you can be alone and uninterrupted with God. And you set out two chairs. And you put them together like you would be having a conversation. And you imagine then that Jesus is sitting in that chair. And when you do this, what you're doing is you're placing your imagination in the service of your faith. You're giving your imagination over to God. And so you just talk out loud to Jesus. Your hopes, your desires, your fears, you just speak them out. And then in your imagination, imagine him replying to you. Now remember, this imagination is placed in the service of prayer. And it can be a powerful thing to imagine God responding to you. So let us consider these scriptures today. One day Jesus was praying in a certain place. When he finished, one of his disciples said to him, "Lord, teach us to pray just as John taught his disciples." Luke 11, verse 1. During his earthly life, Jesus offered prayers and appeals with loud cries and tears to the one who was able to save him. And he was heard because of his reverence. Hebrews 5 and verse 7. In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. Romans 8 and verse 26. O hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Be gracious to me and answer me. Psalm 27 and verse 7. And so today, go into the day being aware and so today, may you have a blessed day. God bless and take care.